Hi there. I've done some pretty stupid stuff while stretching my ears, so I'm here to give you some tips so that you can learn from my mistakes. Now, I'm going to start with my very first stretching story. I had regular earrings since I was 10. I think I was like 18 at the time. So I had regular earrings for like 8 years before I even decided to. And decided to go from a regular earring straight up to a 12 gauge. And I did the stupidest thing possible and used nothing but alcohol. I just rinsed them in alcohol and then kept trying to shove them through my ears with just kept dipping alcohol more and more on there. And if you've ever used alcohol like on your skin, you've rubbed your skin against itself, it's not the smoothest, slickest surface. So it hurt so bad and took me like an hour to finally get this taper through my ear. And obviously I didn't do any research, didn't learn anything before I decided to just go shoving this thing through my ear because I wanted it to be bigger. So I've gone from the 12 gauge all the way up to a 0 now, and I've even pierced 2 more and gauged this one up to a 10 gauge. So I've learned a lot since then, and I'd like to pass that on to you because I don't really feel like there's a consensus as to the perfect way to stretch your ears because everybody's ears are so different. So it does vary from person to person. And I am by no means an expert. Don't take everything that I say, to heart and factually because your body is different than mine. I've just tried a bunch of different things over the years and learned a lot and would like to give you some tips to make your ear stretching journey a little bit easier. Really, your first step is something you're already doing, and it's doing your research. And like I was saying, I don't know everything. I don't claim to be the forefront of knowledge for all of this. So really check out all of your different sites and everybody's different opinions to find what works best for you. Now, the first actual really big tip that I will give you is to learn your millimeters. Knowing your gauge sizes is one thing, but knowing what actual millimeter they are is really helpful, especially if you're going to go anything higher than a 12 or a 10, because the higher they get, the bigger the increment is between your stretches. So doing your early stretches, you're doing a partial of a millimeter or a full millimeter or just a little bit bigger than a millimeter. And then once you get into some of the higher sizes, like going from, I believe it's a 4 to a 2, it's like a 2 millimeter stretch. So it's much more difficult to make that 2 millimeter jump. So you want to make sure you actually know your millimeters, you know what can fit into your ears, and you know how far you're stretching your ears at a time. My next tip is, if you're planning on going up in sizes higher than just 12 or 10, invest in a kit. They're cheap. I paid $10 for my kit. It went from a 12 gauge to a 0 gauge, and it comes with 4 pieces in each kit, and they're the pretty rainbow, but they are stainless steel. They are healthy for your ears. I do not recommend these plastic ones. They are cool looking, they are interesting, they are terrible. I tried stretching with them once. It hurts, it pinches, it grabs your ear. They have weird seams on them that hurt. Stick with straight stainless steel tapers. But don't get tapers any higher than a 0 or a 00 because these things are so heavy, and these are just a 0. Always come with the nifty card, which helps you with all of your millimeters as well. Or they should. If not, then they're not doing it right. Sorry, I get off on tangents sometimes, but I think I made my point. The next part is something that I actually had the most problem with when I was doing my research, and pretty much everybody does, because everybody's skin is so different, and it's waiting time. How long do you wait in between stretching your ears? And this is where kind of the millimeters helps to come into play. What I found is you could stretch maybe 1 to 1.5 millimeters every 3 months. Now, everybody's skin is different. Your skin may heal a lot faster or a lot slower. You might have to wait more than 3 months. But my skin heals pretty quickly, and it takes me about 3 months to heal after about a mil to a millimeter and a half stretch. So, if in doubt, wait. That's my tip for that. Just if in doubt, if you're in doubt at all about your stretching journey, just wait. Give it a little extra time, a couple extra months, until you really know that they're nice and healed and they're soft and stretchy and they're ready to go up. So now that you know all that, now we're on to the tips for actually stretching your ears. Now, the first tip, which I can't stress enough, is sanitization. You always want to sanitize your jewelry before you get it. Now, the best way is always autoclave, which some companies will autoclave them before you get them, but you still want to sanitize them when you get home. But you can always use boiling water or alcohol. And alcohol is very drying, so you want to be very careful doing that. And always make sure you're using extra lubrication in order to counteract that. Now, the next part before you get to stretching is getting your ears nice and worked up and stretchy and ready for it. Now, most people's preferred method is to take a nice hot shower, let the hot water run over it and really soften them up. But my favorite is to use a sea salt soak. I paid $1 for this at Body Art Forms. Not a sponsor, wish they were. But everything you buy from there, they send you one of their cards that has all of the gauges on it. So if you don't get it with your kit, it's great. Wish they were a sponsor. But sea salt soak, and actually soaking, not just using a hot rag with the sea salt solution in it, but actually dipping your ears in the nice hot salty water and letting it become a nice clean sanitary environment for you to stretch. Then you get on to actually stretching. You want to use plenty of lubrication, and my favorite method is to use Body Art Forms Holy Butter. A lot of companies sell Holy Butter, but it's basically just a stretching balm, and jojoba oil. Now these two together, this one's more waxy, this one's more oily, so it makes a really good environment for it all to just stick on your ears and help to let that jewelry just slide on in. And once you've got it lubed up, you just got to remember to go slow. If it hurts at all, stop. It will pinch a little bit, but it shouldn't ever actually hurt. Now, if it does actually hurt, take it out, go back to your old jewelry and wait a couple more weeks. Wait a month, wait 2 more months, wait until they're actually healed, and then that taper will just go right in. You won't even feel it if it's actually healed. So, like I said before, if in doubt, just wait. Alright guys, well, the only thing that's left for me to really talk about is something that I guess I was kind of naive and kind of confused about. Like, I thought ears, when they healed, they would be nice and smooth on the inside, just like the outside. You know, nice and pretty. No, Stretched ears look like buttholes. I completely understand why people are offended by them. Now, 10 gauge, those look nice and pretty. You can't see because you can't see through them, but stretched ears do kind of look like buttholes. So, I think that's all that's I have left. If you have any questions for me, by all means, please leave me a comment. Ask me all the questions you want. I also, like I said, I did pierce my own ears at home with a piercing gun. If you're interested in that and you'd like me to talk about that as well, and how I did that at home, and how it is probably incredibly stupid and you shouldn't do it yourself. If you'd like me to talk about that, please leave me a comment. Let me know. I will absolutely do that. I used to do this YouTube thing before and literally no one was interested. So if you're interested, by all means, I will get back into it. So I think all that's left is for me to show you my naked lobes. So if you're offended by that, now's the time to click away. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, leave me a comment, subscribe, like all that whatever stuff, YouTube. Yeah. So here we go. Pop that one out. There's that with the 10 gauge. See, the 10 gauge doesn't look so bad. And there's that one. See, once they're healed, you can pretty much just boop. There you go. Thank you so much for watching.